so that someone who is not here will also benefit. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and formally, we want to start tonight's presentation. Thank you so very much for those who have testimonies that they've shared before. For the sake of those who are just coming today, they may want to hear it again. So I welcome Osato Onoha. I know she has testimonies, bags full of it. I'm sure President also have testimonies. Okay, this is one of the reasons why I said a lot of things can happen. I live in Lagos, Nigeria, and the lighting is gonna help us.
Something else.
Sorry, guys. Feel is quite. Okay, I feel we can start right away. Without further ado, thank you so very much. Alaja, please, you can go on. Professor Babatunde Adoloye, you can come on later. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. Please unmute yourself, ma. Okay.
We really appreciate those who are joining us for the first time. Thanks so much, Mama Alex. We, just like we usually say, this is the new phase of medicine. This is a regenerative therapy. It is nothing like before. When we came across this too, it was really hard to believe until we gave it a try. And like I always tell people, it would be a sin against humanity if one is keeping quiet about this. Not because of anything, but because of the fact that whoever has gone through this therapy of phytoscience, plant-based stem cell therapy, it's always a wow experience, honestly speaking. I'm not a medical doctor like many in-house will know. I'm a journalist by profession. I'm the past chairperson women journalists in Lagos there. But because we've had the chance of coming through across this therapy, I have personal testimonies, many. When I was using phytoscience, it was because of fibroid. Yes. And thank God to God Almighty, today I'm completely free of fibroid. For those of us who have gone through fibroid, for the women in house, we know how this can be. Having gone through surgeries more than once, more than twice for same issue. When you now have a therapy that healed you, that helped you completely without being opened up anywhere. We have cases where many are still dying as a result of the same issue. That's why we always say, if we keep quiet about this opportunity, even God Almighty will ask us that what did you do with this information? And that's why some of us are taking it upon ourselves. As I'm being taken care of regarding my fibroid, I discovered that my eyes, I was using glasses before. All my recommended glasses, some of them are in the drawers there now. They are no longer useful to me. I didn't even know. Unconsciously, it was one of my twins. I'm also a mother of twins. One of them was telling me, Mom, come. These days, you've been using your phone without necessarily having to be searching your bag, searching, looking for your glasses. That was when it dawned on me that that's true. And even for a very chronic arthritis, I had a terrible accident, near death accident, some years back. I carried POP for months upon all very powerful antibiotics at lawsuits here. The pains did not go away completely, the knee cap especially. But I discovered that when I was on this therapy, then when I wanted to do our Muslim prayers, we need to be covering some, joints. Then I couldn't bend my knees to pray. For many months, I was sitting on chairs. If I had to bend, I would have to stretch my leg backward. But because I was on phytoscience stem cell therapy for something else, it also took care of this particular, knee pains, very serious one. There are so many other testimonies. Let me leave my personal testimonies. I have so many other people around me. Honestly speaking, it's because this link came in late today. I would have loved her to come herself to share her testimony. She had a particular condition that had to do with the spinal cord. She was diagnosed of TB in the spine, lower spine at Igbobi Orthopedic Hospital, Igbobi, Lagos. She was there. She was told it's going to be a surgery, but the amount they billed them, the husband cannot afford it. That was how it came to be a public thing. In this part of the world, we are always very, secretive when it comes to our health. But because of the huge bill given, that's how it came out to be, what we were aware of. After all said and done, after a series of tests, going about trying to raise the millions, because it was said, since it's a spinal cord surgery, it's risky, it's dangerous, it's going, all sorts. After about 3-4 weeks, this woman happens to be one of the staff in my children's school, in their secondary school. And at a point, they said in Gobi that they can't handle the situation. They referred her to Luth. When she got to
What?
Luth said there was no bed, you know. And after like a week or so of sleeping on the corridor with mosquito bites here and there, they eventually asked them to go home, that if bed is available, they will let them know. Meanwhile, all this while, I've been telling them that, why don't you try this stem cell therapy? Why don't you try this stem cell therapy? So they put a call through to me. I didn't even know that they've been asked to go. I just told them that if you are still in the hospital, if you are going to be using this, you have to know how to go about it, because definitely they might not allow you to use this. And that was when they told me they've even asked them to go home. I said, okay, fine. To cut the long story short, she started the therapy. She was put on 3 of our products, and to God be the glory. What was supposed to be operated after using this stem cell, phytoscience plant stem cell therapy, that thing was what was supposed to be operated because she couldn't lift up her head. The thing really hooked her spine, the lower spine, that she was walking bent down, for months. For months. She was admitted at the general hospital. all the- Within 2 weeks of being that thing didn't work on its own. The stem cell therapy absorbed whatever is to be operated upon, and she got well. That's the beauty of stem cell therapy. In my children's school too, one of their teachers has been married for many years. They've done so many tests. I've been telling them that you can actually be on this therapy. It's going to regenerate a lot of things. It's going
Okay,
to
so
set those things that are either weak, damaged, you know, is going to regenerate new cells for you. Why don't you try it? After so many harmonizations, they decide to go for it. After 3 months, even before 3 months, they've started experiencing this. I think the wife also had hormonal imbalance. So that was what was corrected first. And after like 3 months, Baba God did it for them, you know. Started feeling funny. They went for tests. And that's after many years of marriage. We have infertility issues more than, when we can start relating here tonight. And because I know we have so many leaders in the house that have many testimonies, I just want to talk about an elderly person in my community. Funny enough, someone had given him a pack of double stem cell some years back. He didn't use it. So the person that invited me to come and talk to him, because he had traveled outside the country, children are actually based outside Nigeria. He has done so many, treatments outside the shore of this land. And elderly people, you see the way he was questioning me the day I went there, as in serious jam questions. After so many talk, he said, okay, Elijah, I think I should give it a try. And that was when he now said that, funny enough, do you know that someone had given me this thing before? And he went inside. This man is over close to 80 years. He went inside and brought out the pack. But when we checked the expiry date, it expired like 2 weeks earlier. So he couldn't use it any longer. To cut the long story short, Daddy has been on the therapy for about 3 months now. And he was the one I've told him recently. I said, hello, Daddy, though you're an elderly person, but we still want you to come over because of your age. People would like to hear from you. After being on the therapy for he was actually using it for arthritis, serious arthritis that he had even done kneecap surgery for before. So for the benefit of those who are new here tonight, we've had many cases of ulcer being treated, asthma being treated. We name many conditions. For sickle cell anemic children, wow, they are now like uncountable. And just recently, I think during Ramadan, our last fasting, a grandma called that my grandchild was on admission, UCH for like a month, blah, 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 blah. It was really not that the mommy really, but she said, okay, I think this is new. Let's give it a try. But today, the last time the dad called, it was prayers upon prayers upon prayers. So for those of us who are joining us here for the first time, like Leader Alex said, it might not necessarily be about money now, but the joy and hope we give to people who had thought that this is how I'm going to live for the rest of my life. This is how I'm going to be doing palliative for my health conditions. We can be rest assured that God, in His infinite mercy, has given us this, has shown us this way, and whoever has been on it is really a wow experience.
Oh my
Leader
God.
Alex, I think I've taken like 30 minutes or so.
You have
No,
not
no.
Let me
taken 30
give our
minutes, though.
professor,
You
professor.
have not taken 30 minutes. It's as if I should just leave you to continue.
I know that my prof is around Leader Fadulu and some other people, but just to assure those who are here, we are all, we built our names over the year in our various professional callings. And these are names we are not going to joke with in whatever way. Whoever is joining us the first time, we should be rest assured that whatever we are hearing here tonight is not just for hearing sake. This is about humanity. This is about a new phase of medicine that has been predicted in medical school years back, that sometimes in the future, a new form of medicine will come. The new form of medicine is here now. This is the regenerative form of medicine, quite different from drugs and surgeries. And the way this is working is marvelous and awesome. Thanks very much, everybody. Thanks for the attention. Let me give room for others to also share their experience. Thank you so much, ma.
More or less, one last.
Thank you so very much, Alaja. God bless you. I really want to say you are one person that I don't get tired of listening to. Sincerely, you have done well for yourself. I like when people with high repute speak. You can hear what Alaja said. She was the immediate past president of the female journalists in Lagos. That alone is telling you about the weight of the person who had just spoken to us. Now, before we continue, I want to plead something. For those of us who are joining us for the first time, or for our guests who are here repeatedly, we notice that when people come in, their mic is usually coming in with a lot of noise, and we have co-host here to help us maintain decorum. This is because um, most of the time our presentations are usually recorded, so it can be used as a tool to get to everybody in any part of the world. It is not only restricted to this jurisdiction, it really goes out. At the end of every presentation, this goes out to a lot of countries, it goes out to a lot of dignitaries, a lot of notable people. How will it feel when someone listens to this video or this presentation and they hear all the background things? Sometimes we hear some very unimaginable things, and they are not professional at all. We want to implore that if you're coming in or if you've invited anybody, simply tell them to mute their mic immediately they enter. Or if the co-host can help us, immediately someone's coming in, they should please help us look out for the
Oh,
mute button on that person. Please, there's someone who is unmuted now. Please help us to mute the device so this will not go out of hand. I want to say a very big thank you to you, Alaja Sekinat. It's a mind-blowing a group of testimonies that you have just shared with us. A lot of people may not know how heavy this is until maybe you see someone who's been plagued with a particular health challenge, and you see the person coming out of that pain through the help of Phytoscience plant stem cell. Over the weekend, we were at a presentation at the prestigious Redemption Camp. We were there on Saturday to speak about the wonders of Phytoscience plant stem cell for wellness and for business. And someone came out and announced that it's a really, really surprising thing, because they said Pastor Adeboye actually spoke about a breakthrough in medicine just about a year before the Phytoscience stem cell came out. So it is something that has been spiritually opened to the world. So most of the time I hear people say, okay, let me go back and ask my pastor, let me go back and ask my doctor if I should use this, but this is telling us that this is really, really wonderful, something you will want the whole of the people you know, whether they have plagued with any health issue or not, you will want them to use it, at least for the regeneration of their health, for the regeneration of the depleting cells, which we do not have any control over. I tell people that not until you have a health challenge, but for the single fact that you do not want to be plagued with any kind of health issue. You may not know what it is until you take notes of what is happening globally. If you are into phytoscience, I'm sure you will have taken records of how much souls get lost every day, how much people die every day because of one health issue or the other. And the chief of them is cancer and diabetes. Cancer and diabetes is plucking people every day. And I'm sure you will not want anything that will cause any health issue, especially the cancer or diabetes. Professor Adeloye, I will be calling upon you tonight to share your testimonies. I know your testimonies can fill the whole of, what will I say? The whole of a story building cannot take your testimonies, but I want you to please share your testimony with us. And after you share your testimony, I want to quickly showcase to Ross what they are actually talking about. You might have heard them talk about double stem cells. What are those things? After Professor Adeloye, I'm sure in the next 10 minutes, before we call it a night, we're going to quickly take a look at it and how we can come on board promoting it for ourselves and for our loved ones. And for those we do not know we are going to meet in our sojourn in life. Thank you so very much, everyone. Professor Adeloye, please, you have this podium. Let me use that.
Thank you very much. It was Alex Igori, my grandmother in the business. Thank you for saying yes at one point in time. And then thank you, Mama Anka, for saying yes at some other point in time. And that's what brought me into phytoscience. A warm evening to everyone here tonight. Thank you so much, our guests, for coming in just to listen to what we have to say.
Prof, your volume is low. Could you increase your volume, please?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Slightly better.
I don't know what the problem could be. Is it better? Is it okay now? I'm practically shouting.
It should be better. It's still
are-
low.
Prof, you are shouting, but your mic is off your mouth. Raise your mic to be in your mouth directly. Raise your mic.
Not that kind of mic I'm using. Okay, can you hear me better now?
Just
Can
it's
you hear
still
me
very
better now?
just a little improvement.
It's not the kind of mic. It's the kind of mic that should have the mic. Let's see what happens. Hello? Is it better now?
Yes, it's better.
It's better now.
Okay, let me work without the earpiece. Thank you so much once again for being here this night, esteemed guests. You see, Alaga Sekina said something. She said, it's not about the money. I have personally given out products worth over $10,000, 6 million naira, far over 6 million naira. And most of my testimonies have come from products freely given out. Indeed, I keep saying it. If phytoscience products are products you have to take forever throughout your life, I would not have got myself involved in the first instance. Earlier this year, we were at somewhere around quarter or so, no, around Ajao Estate. And I was on the podium, as my big boss would say, because I ranked diamond. And then as I was dancing to the stage, two of my students showed up. So I have a lot of reputation to protect. Change that 10 times a day just because of fibroid bleeding alone, 10 times a day. It was so bad that the mother said she should come home on the 1st of January this year. If your mother said you should come home 1st of January of any particular year, you know that it's a serious problem. Otherwise, why would she ask you to come home on the first day of the year? But the problem was just too embarrassing for this poor woman. And her brother happened to have been in my set in secondary school. And that was the one that contacted me, sent the products to him, to her rather, in somewhere in Ondo State. And in just 11 days, the issue of blood, we should just call it issue of blood, stopped. And she came back to Lagos. She never told me the fibroid dropped off her body until about 2 months ago, when another friend, also my classmate in secondary school, whose son was asthmatic. And it was so bad that anytime he tried to sleep, he was scared he was going to die because his breathing became almost an impossibility for him. And in just 2 days, the asthma was gone. My friend had high blood pressure. In fact, he said as soon as the boy's asthma was gone, his blood pressure came down, but of course, not totally. By the time the son took double stem cell, he himself took double stem cell, and the boy also added Snowy Fort. He took only double stem cell because he registered her package, and the son had already taken the 2 Snowy Fort that came with the gold package. And I was even thinking, why would he take only double stem cell for high blood pressure? But believe it, in just 2 days, his condition was quite much better than what it was before. Up till now, he has not even asked for some other product, but you could see that he's greatly relieved of his high blood pressure. Now, his daughter also had a strange ailment with all sorts of wrinkling on the legs, on the palms, on the feet. And in no time at all these abnormalities disappeared completely. You can imagine the joy in this man's house, himself, his son, his daughter. Now let's go to more of fibroid. As I said, this woman's fibroid dropped off. And let's talk about my own cousin who complained about ulcer. So I gave her just double stem cell. If she had told me she had fibroid, I would have recommended crystal cell instead of double stem cell. She came back to tell me, thank you, brother. The ulcer is completely gone. But I also noticed that my fibroid has shrunken. And just 2 months ago, she came to me and said, brother, something great happened. While I was rushing up and down to package whatever I was going to give to my son going back to Kaduna for further studies, I noticed that I lost a pregnancy. I've not been pregnant since 2007 because I've had problems with infertility since. Outside me said the products you took from your brother were the ones that helped you to get pregnant. Go back to him and get more products. So she came and got more products. That's a testimony that is coming up very soon. Now, my friend, a longtime friend, had diabetes. Nigeria. He's teaching somewhere. That he had diabetes. So he ordered for he had already signed up before. So he ordered for some products. So I sent them across to him. It was only later he told me that he's a medical doctor friend, told him that as soon as he saw the product, said, oh, okay, these are the products he ordered for. These are the same products that took care of prostate cancer in a man I knew. So my friend, let us look at his testimony. I could not be diabetes. You know, at times you initially try to fight it, that this is not what you fear it might be. But eventually, because he was peeing too much, drinking so much water, and of course, he went for medical checkup. What did
the team do for you? Professor Deloye, Prof, can you please hold on? Mama, what did the team do for you?
You know that day,
Yes, ma.
my leg, I can't bend it.
Okay.
I used to carry the leg if I'm working.
Okay.
Since that day, I take it.
Okay.
And eyes.
Okay.
My eye.
Okay.
Sometimes it will pepper me. It will start to bring out water.
Okay.
It used to do me like 3 times a day. The only one is doing me.
Wow.